Yes, you're deviating from the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think Yogi
is,
deserves all the support for his fight against the mafia, ladies and gentlemen. If he's got the courage to take it on, he needs the support. And finally, the impact of the Adani Group's fall on the Indian economy has been barely a dent. Barely a dent. I predicted it. But the reality for Adani, the Adani conglomerate is very different. It's in free fall. Let's debate.
The political controversy over Adani is over. But Adani Group's troubles are far from over. The Adani stocks continue to tank in the market. The Adani Group has been compelled to scrap a $850 million coal plant purchase plan. Gautam Adani's net worth has stumbled to a 2-year low, and the RBI continues to be monitoring loans extended to the conglomerate. This assurance seems to have done little to assuage concerns.
The fundamentals of our company are very strong. Our balance sheet is healthy and assets robust. Our EBITDA levels and cash flows have been very strong, and we have an impeccable track record of fulfilling our debt obligation.
It's time to get into the fundamentals causing Adani's free fall. Let's debate tonight.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, like it's always said, separate Adani story from India's story, and that's exactly what's happened. Kishore, India is fine. Adani is not. In fact, Adani is getting into more and more trouble. What do you think? We got Amirullah Khan, also executive economist and research director of the Center for Development Policy and Practice from Hyderabad. We have Sushil Kedia of Kedianomics and Ashish Wakankar, who is the founder of Equipoise Capital. Okay, hardcore group of 4 panelists. Kishore, what are you predicting in the future for Adani?
Okay, so my prediction for Adani is very neutral. It's quite unknown. But as an investment analyst, let me tell you one thing first. This is not a time to touch the Adani stocks. If you're an investor, do not touch Adani stocks. But let's not confuse, Arnab. Let me be very clear. Let's not confuse Adani's story with the Indian story. Indian story is amazing, fantastic. BJP and Modi are doing a wonderful job, and I think the Honorable Prime Minister should get the credit for having single-minded focus on this country going towards a 5 trillion economy. Adani is one small short circuit in the whole system. We shouldn't be bothered much about it. But as an investor, don't touch the stock now. It's extremely volatile. But Adani is not a scam in the whole business. It's not a paper business. There is business actually out there.
No,
talking about the valuations,
can I just for a minute, get in? Let's get in the other side. You got Sushil Kedia. He's been very bullish on Adani. I think, Sushil, did you make the mistake of linking the Adani story with the India story? Did you vest yourself too much into it, that if you speak against Adani, you will be seen to be speaking against India and vice versa? Because there are fundamental troubles for Adani. And did Adani also, did the Adani group also enjoy that? We are going to, people like Sushil Kedia will support us because this is feeling if you're not with Adani, you're not with India. Did you make that mistake as well, in retrospect?
No, Arnab, not at all. Not at all. If I make a mistake, I'll admit it, but that was not the mistake made. See, there's no doubt that India is not equal to Adani. Yet, at the same hand, can any of us deny the fact that Adani has been one illustrious poster boy of an Indian? So when an Indian gets hurt, Indians will stand for him. But to give umbrage to anyone that he's being a greater patriot and hence he should be given umbrage and protection from, any kind of investigations is never what we said. We said SEBI must do its job, which it is doing. RBI must do its job, which it is doing. Any other regulator that needs to step in has to do its job.
This whole thing of poster boy, I'll tell you. No, 1 minute. This weekend I was taking a walk. I had a chat with someone, and that person sent me a video of a person called Sudhanshu Mani, the man behind the Vande Bharat trains. I saw a TED talk. I was so inspired. I say, you want to talk about poster boys? Talk about that person, man. How do you make Adani a bigger poster boy than everybody else? You know, you were too vested in the Adani issue, I feel.
No, Arnab, I'm not getting into the comparison game to make it him bigger or smaller, but he's a poster boy of a great Indian success story.
No. With this kind of leverage, I say no. With this corporate governance, the practices, the companies in London, I'm sorry, but I don't know enough about business as you guys do, but I say no. It's been a rout. How are you saying poster boy? It's a dangerous line being taken out here. What do you think, Dr. Amirullah Khan?
Arnab?
He's still pushing on the poster boy angle. 1 minute. From Hyderabad.
Arnab, very quick point. Very quick.
No quick points. Counter. Quick counter. Yes, Dr. Amirullah Khan.
Thanks, Arnab. You know what I think what happened was...
Quick counter. This is not the first time. This is not the first time that Adani stock has routed by 80%. It is the 4th or 5th time.
That itself is a statement, isn't it? Okay, Dr. Amirullah Khan.
Yeah, thanks, Arnab. You know, very true that Adani
every time he's rebounded back 10 times bigger.
A small little part of the larger India story. The trouble started because when Adani defended and remember that that clip that made its rounds when Adani's spokesperson came with the Indian flag and equated Adani with India. I think that's where the trouble started, and that's where everybody started looking at it as India's fault. After all, the stock market itself is such a small thing. Within that, there are even fewer stock players. In that, Adani certainly was India's biggest business house when it started off, and now is hurtling down. But that is very clear that it should not have been, and it should not be equated to the India story in any manner. The problem is happening because everybody sees Adani as being somebody who is very close to the Prime Minister. And, this whole story that he goes with the Prime Minister everywhere, and those pictures of the Prime Minister and him in his aircraft, those are the things that are causing this kind of confusion, and people are not being able to separate the two stories.
No, but that's a, no, 1 minute. That's a political argument. My problem is, Dr. Amirullah Khan, business is brutal. We all know it. But when you bring the political angle to it, then it doesn't seem rational anymore. You can say, is Adani in a position to finance infrastructure projects? Their shares have lost three quarters. There was this, I think, some company in Chhattisgarh, they were going to take over, Ashish. They're now not taking it over. They're shelving the 847 or 850 million dollars of funding that was required to buy that project over. So those questions, but why use Adani to hit at the Prime Minister? I mean, that's not making sense to me, Ashish.
Yeah, Arnab, thanks. Just a disclaimer, I don't have any exposure to Adani, never had, nor have I advised. Arnab, I was watching your opening remarks just on the Indian economy just before debate number 2, and I would like to say that you summed it up really well. The points that I want to make over here is markets are known to make excesses on either side. Either they move from greed to fear, they move from exuberance to despair. And this is not just in India. This is not happening for the first time. This is something that has happened in the past, and this is something that has happened across the developed world as well. Just give me 30 seconds. I want to talk about 3 data points. I want to draw the attention of your viewers to an article which came in The Economist in November 12, 1998, just after the Asian financial crisis. It spoke about 30 Korean conglomerates, as they're called J-balls. The debt-to-equity ratio of those companies was in excess of 8. The same publication has come out with an article on 9th of February 2023, right, just in this month. And they talk about Indian companies like Jindal, Tata, Birla, Reliance, and also Adani. The debt-to-equity ratio that they talk of Adani is slightly in excess of 1. So when we look at and when people start, fear-mongering that, this is going to have a spillover effect, it's going to have an impact on India. Somebody wrote that this is India's Enron moment, so on and so forth. Some, foreign finance ministers. I think that's way on the excess side. And I think the one number which people need to really look at, and people are getting, I think, worked up about the stock market, stock prices fall, which have been in a free fall. I mean, we have seen in the last 2 years how many IPOs came of some of the new age companies and what kind of collapse that they have seen. The only metric that matters, in my opinion, is cash flows. And if you look at some of the corporate research advisory, some of the proxy advisory companies also, everyone, by and large, everyone, including the banks, have come out. RBI has come out and said that there is no impact to the Indian banking system. So I think rather than getting fixated and getting too worked up about the stock prices, I think the one number that I look at, and I think everybody should look at when they're looking at any company, is the cash flow. If the cash flows are dwindling, they're falling drastically, that's an alarm.
No, but isn't it an alarm? They're not able to stop the rout. I mean, Kishore, what about investor sentiment? I mean, we just got this report. There was this report which is out about how not 4 but at least 13 Mauritius-based funds invested in the Adani FPO. That was almost contributing about 29% of the investment. Doesn't that raise doubts? It raises doubts.
Yeah. It raises a lot of doubts. Let me first clear that the Adani total gas stock had a PE of 844. Now, this is not a normal number. Point number one. The biggest of the disruptive tech companies that has been in the globe have never had PEs excess of 800. Point number one. Point number two. It is not about excessive pricing on the upside or the low side. But what is difficult is, are there accounting parameters which has been violated? As you have rightly said, Arnab, is there routing of funds through Cayman Islands and Mauritius and all those tax havens? These are very important questions. Point number three. The expansion of the group in areas where they technically did not have probably extreme competence is one thing which you need to be looked at. And the joint ventures where all the price shot up phenomenally. For example, let me give you one data. The approximate PE for a good stock, which is a value buy, is less than 10 and a decent buy is 12 to 14. Now we are talking of 840.
What were all the experts doing all this while? I mean, I'm sorry, post facto Hindenburg, everybody has become the wisest. What happened till now? Kishore, you should have been leading a morcha by now outside the SEBI office.
A lot of Indians
No. Arnab, you can't question us. But the point is that most of the people who have lost money in the stock market are speculative guys who are trying to make quick money. Investors. I have no investment. Neither have I invested.
Aren't we contradicting ourselves over here by saying that we had gone beyond 800 and then we are saying that investors are speculative kind? I mean, I just want to make one point over here. Somebody just mentioned that the group did not have any expertise in running these infrastructure projects. I mean, look at prior to 2005 or 2004. Most of the infrastructure projects were run by the government of India. So what we wanted foreign investors to come inside and run airports and seaports and everything.
Sushil,
or we wanted the government to continue running these projects.
No, not government to run, but please understand that it is important to understand that across all groups.
Anyway, last comment on Adani, free fall going to Sushil and then Amirullah, 20 seconds each. Yes, please.
Were the P ratios hidden?
Sushil and then Amirullah, 20 seconds each.
Arnab, I have two quick rebuttals.
One allowed.
I have two quick rebuttals. The entire Adani story was developing over time, did not happen overnight. Too many politicians, too many self-appointed experts suddenly woke up and became educated with Hindenburg. So, are they claiming they were illiterates in finance until Hindenburg came?
Okay.
That's a question that must be addressed. Point number two, Arnab, you talked about Adani has not been able to stop the rout. I pray to God, never should any corporate in any free market come in to stop the rout or create.
Amirullah,
they didn't start the fire.
Amirullah,
and then
Amirullah Khan, please.
I think it's very simply, it is important that we must arrest this free fall. For this, it's important that the Prime Minister distance himself from Adani, ensure that the foreign investor gets back the confidence to come into one of the better performing economies in the world. Thank you.
Okay, I would only say, Amirullah, that if you see what the government said in the Supreme Court, the government has totally distanced itself already. And I think that's a good thing. Now we'll see what SEBI does. I thank you all very much. Interesting but short conversation. And ladies and gentlemen, tracking a lot of stories simultaneously, getting good feedback on all three tonight. And I promise to see you tomorrow without fail, sharp at 9. Till tomorrow evening. Good night and goodbye.
11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.